2011. Firstly, I welcome you all here. It's good to see some people here for a change. And of course, I'll remind everybody that webcam is on, can be watched live or downloaded later for clarity or at your leisure. So firstly, I'll ask for apologies, but that's fruitless because we're all here. So again, I'll just welcome you here and we'll move straight into agenda item number 1, which is deputation of the Tamatea Street residents re the use of Tamatea Reservoir site for telecommunication purposes, and I believe this is going to be presented by Mr. Mark Davies and Mr. Steve Jolly. So if you'd like to come forward, and we're here to listen. Make sure your speakers are on, please, Tim.
Good afternoon, Mayor Rick and Councillors and Chief Executive Rob. Just introducing myself, my name is Mark Davies. I'm a resident of Tamatea Road, and I'm here representing the Tamatea Residents Group, which is a group of about 23 neighbours who surround the Tamatea site, but also about 40 other neighbours of the reserve who are located in both Tamatea Road and Kapua Place and Taupo View Road. I'd like to introduce a neighbour, Steve Jolly, who you probably know well, probably know him better than I do, and he's going to be speaking also on behalf of the residents, so we're doing a bit of a tag team today. Can I take our submission as being read that we formally lodged? So I will just speak to the key points and then hand over to Steve and then look for questions and answers. I just would also like to note that we've got a number of our residents in support of us today. This is a very important matter for us. We had a site meeting with council officers about 2 weeks ago in 2 Degrees on site, and we had over 40 representatives of the group who unanimously are in opposition and don't support the proposal, both by 2 Degrees as put, and also are really asking council to seriously consider the proposal to sublease part of the site to 2 Degrees. As I've said, or as we have said in our submission, the council are aware of, or very aware of, how the residents feel about the Tamatea site. We have engaged with you quite actively over the years, and most recently, about 3 years ago, over your proposal to construct a water treatment plant. What we saw then as a very industrial activity in what is predominantly a residential environment. And the incompatibility of the use of that site. As we've said in our submission, the site has got significant amenity value, recreational value and landscape value for the surrounding community, and is actively used by not only the residents surrounding the reserve but also by the broader community. We do acknowledge that its primary purpose is for the water reservoir, but that is a very passive use, and in all respects is through good engineering and good landscaping is actually quite a low-rise piece of infrastructure. The maintenance of that open space and those amenity values and the uninterrupted views will be significantly compromised by the proposal, and we are certainly very concerned about that. Of course, with the loss of those views, there is potentially a significant loss of property values, which again is an important point for the surrounding residents, and also a point that we would like you to seriously consider. The consultation process that has been carried out by 2 Degrees we could only describe it as limited. We got a mail drop and an offer of a meeting. We had to initiate the site meeting. It doesn't feel like good practice to us, and we'd just like to bring that to your attention. As I've noted, what is being proposed has got, in our view, a significant impact on the landscape values. The resource consent process that 2 Degrees went through and the assessment that was made by council planning staff had assessed the proposal as being less than minor, and we certainly don't agree with that. And we've got some photographs on the screen showing you what is being proposed. And certainly, as you can see, the very low-rise and well landscaped structure of the reservoir, all of these shots are from people's houses or the surrounding residents. And I'll leave it on that one because that is the most obvious one. This proposed structure is actually quite, it's a significant impact on the site. What I would also like to say is that at the end of the last consultation process that we went through with council over the proposed water treatment plant, the residents made the offer, and we got sort of verbal support from the council and the executive at that point of changing the designation back to recreation. It had been recreation at the start of the subdivision of the Tamatea Road in the late 60s, early 70s. It was changed to water utility to allow the construction of the reservoir, and we made the suggestion, and you verbally agreed that recreation was the appropriate use. We are re-suggesting that, and we would like to work with you actively with the development of some kind of reserve management plan, and to enhance those values of recreation and amenity and landscape that are there, that we as a surrounding community and broader community enjoy. So to finish, we really want to say, please take this matter seriously, because we do. We encourage you not to issue a lease to 2 degrees. We think that it is not in council's best interests, because really a piece of infrastructure like that should be really in the industrial zone. There are 2 other telecommunication providers who have got structures in the industrial zone who provide good service for the community. We're very conscious of 2 degrees right, both under the district plan and under the national standards, to as an alternative to use lighting posts directly, and that has the potential to be a greater impact to residents in other locations. And we certainly have asked 2 degrees to not take up that option, and that they should be looking at more alternatives, that there are a number of alternatives that are available that would give them the coverage and performance that they're looking for, that wouldn't impact on the residential environment, both at the Tamatea site and other residential sites around the town. They state very clearly on their website and all their commercial material that they want to be a good corporate citizen, and we're just encouraging them to be a good corporate and community citizen, and we're encouraging you to encourage them to be a good community and good corporate citizen. So I'd like to end there and hand over to Steve, who's going to talk a wee bit about health benefits or health issues associated with telecommunication facilities. And then, as I say, we're available for questions.